Te ata e te iwi, ko te tūmana ko ia e ora pai ana koutou katoa. Hewa e te iwi, kia mohia mai koutou ne. Kaore kore, kua whakawhiwhia koutou ki e te hipepa, ki roto i a koutou pauaka reta meki, e pāna ki te pōti mō ngā māngai mō I roto I tō rohe-rohenga. Yes, it is time to get your vote on whānau, and we've got our resident guru right here, Miss Kirsty, to talk to us all about it. Ngā tino mihi kia koe te tuahine.
Mauri ore te whānau. Yeah, guru. I think that was Sharon's idea. Yeah, but it is so important. And whoop, whoop, Pātara has just, told me that he's just voted, so I'm going to turn the tables. Pātara, why was it important for you to vote?
Well, it was important to me to vote for the reasons we've been talking about actually at the last couple of weeks, just to have somebody on the board that represents my views, my values, and the people that put their hand up in the Rahui Pōkeka area definitely, well, I had to toss a coin in the end because there's so many of my whānau who have put their hand up for the positions within local government and Rahui Pōkeka. So it was a bit of a hard choice, to be honest, which was really good, because in past years, most of the faces I saw, I didn't really know. But this time around, I saw a whole lot of faces I did recognize. I know all of the hard work that they put in the community as well, and especially during the COVID times. Made it a real hard decision, but it had to be made. And hopefully, no matter which one of them get in, they will, without a doubt, represent our community with the most, with excellence. I have no doubt about that. So I got out there and voted finally. And I'm really happy with the representation that we got on our Rahui Pōkeka ballot this year.
Okay. Cool. That's fantastic. There we go. So my work is now done. You now have all the reasons that you need to grab those orange envelopes, take them off the fridge, and get in and vote. And thanks for that, Pātara. That was perfect. And that's what we're really trying to emphasize. And you talked about the courage of people who were willing to stand up for their communities. And we've had such a great response. 55 Māori candidates standing throughout the Waikato. You have choice this year and you have great choices. And it does take a lot. So, we only get change if we support change. So, we've got to get out there and support these people who are willing to put their hands up. And that's the thing. We will then get a change across that council table. Like Pātara said, this time will have people who look like you, who are putting their hands up and who are willing to represent your values, your perspectives, your priorities at those decision-making tables. Cheryl Martinga, who'll be one of the ones that you've been aware of. But so she brought a picture. Unfortunately, being Cheryl, it was far too bloody late to put it up on our screen. But like she pointed out, which is so true, she had a picture of the standing council. And Lisa Thompson is the only Māori on there at the moment. So, I mean, if you don't want old white men making decisions about your wai, your whenua, your waka, your whānau, and your, I was going to say wairua, but I've missed the wrong one, and your why, then we need to get people in there who have that responsibility, that manaaki, that kaitiaki approach to looking after our taiao, but also looking after our future generations. Making mokopuna decisions, man. We can't let the same old keep doing that. Hey, they're just some real practical stuff, though. We've got great candidates standing not only for Māori wards, but also general seats. And that's important for a couple of reasons. One is we want Māori representing all the lenses of their community. And they are part of the general community as well. So we need to have that perspective in there. But secondly, I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed this time around because they can't actually vote for Māori wards unless you're on the Māori roll. And that is changing. I just saw a thing on Breakfast TV that is moving through Parliament now, that people will be able to switch between strategically, which has been a long time coming. It's amazing how many barriers to democracy there are in the current system, but we won't go there. But the thing is that this time round, if you're not on the Māori roll, you're going to have to vote in the general seats. But don't worry, whānau, because we have so many great candidates. So, in Kirikiriroa itself, so there's a difference between there and, say, Waikato, Waipa and our surrounding rohi. So there you have a system called STV, or Single Transferable Vote. So you're either in the East Ward, where there's, I think, 15 people standing for 6 seats, West Ward, Kirikiriroa Māori Ward, doesn't matter where you live, you can vote for them. And man, there's some great candidates there. You've got Moko Tawariki, you've got Malena Huaki, you've got Te Pora Thompson, and a couple of others whose names escape me, sorry. Matai Araki, but there's some great candidates standing in those Māori wards, but there's also some good candidates, great candidates standing in the general wards, and Dan Steer comes to mind immediately. But you do have this different system, so you need to just take your time. It's not a problem. In fact, it's actually better. It's more democratic. So what you're going to have to do is rank the candidates. So you don't just say, oh, yeah, I want that one, and then chuck your thing in the post. You actually go through and you go, okay, I want this one first, but if they don't get in, I want that one, etc., etc. So just, it's not actually complicated, and it does make for better democracy. So you won't get a person winning, for example, because they got 25% of the first vote. It'll be an aggregate. So people's second choices and third choices also count. So you should get the candidate that most people wanted for preference. There are a couple of little tips and tricks about that. You don't have to rank them all. If you don't know people, you don't have to worry, but don't leave a gap. Don't do 1, 2, 3, then leave 4 and 5, and then do 6, 7, 8, because those ones won't get counted. But you absolutely don't have to do them all. Well, I'm just going to check my notes that I did. Oh, yeah, that's right. And you can't use the same number twice. For example, in Pātara's case, you have Paniora and Kawe Nikora going, which one do I do? Don't put them both one, because you can't. Sorry. Nobody will ever know that you put one of them as the second. But it actually only refers to all of you who actually live in Kirikiriroa. So just be aware the voting system is a bit different. The other big message I really want to get across is it's not too late. There's only 2 weeks until voting's finished, but you can still enroll, and you have to be enrolled to vote. You now have to do a special vote, but that's even then, it's not that difficult. We try to encourage everybody to avoid it, just because you don't need another barrier. We want as many pathways into decision-making as possible. But you can enroll online really easily. Just go to vote.nz, or on Facebook, the same. Just go on Facebook, vote.nz. You can enroll in 3 minutes online. It just takes no time at all. But you will need to go and pick up special voting papers. Again, in Kirikiriroa, and the sad part about that, is every council is slightly different. But the council websites in general aren't too hard to navigate. But in Kirikiriroa, man, you've got spots all over the place where you can go and pick up a special voting paper. Waikato district, so that's back to the normal, conventional, just tick one person. But you have lots of places where you can do that too. So you can do that in Whangaroa at the information centre. Tamahere have an office. Ngaruahia has an office. There's another one too. Te Kaupata has an office in Ngaruahia, of course. So it will take that little bit of extra time, but man, it's worth it. Listen to the man. That's why it's worth it. We've got a chance for real change. So you can also enroll and do your special vote at the same time. And I'd suggest, say, carpooling. I know it's a real pain in the bum, there should be easier ways for people to be able to do this. But if you do have to travel, grab a group of the whānau, man, and all go down. You can enroll and special vote right then and there if you want to. But it is really important that we make a change this time.
Yeah, no, we've done that before. Actually, our whole kapaka team got together, and because we wanted to make sure that everybody got out there and voted, and we had a lot of people in our ropu who, didn't really bother about it in the past. So this really encouraged them to get there. We got together, we had a bit of a barbecue, we had a bit of a sing-song. Nobody pressured anybody to vote a particular way, but we all got there together, and we all did it together, went into the booth, did our thing, came back out and had a good gas bag afterwards. So, it's an excuse to get together. It's an excuse to get out there and make some real change within your community, but doing it as a whānau, because that's how we roll, right? That's how we roll. So we got to roll like that.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, I think that's, again, one of the advantages that you have in Te Ao Māori is things are intergenerational. That's the thing. And we've been saying, not only tippers get a kasi to tell a kasi, but when we had one of our wānanga out at Omairo, get an auntie and they'll tell everybody. But seriously, and like Pātara says, get a few of you together, and it would be really good to get people in that habit of voting. That's the thing, is to, if you take the whānau, even if some of yours are too young to vote this time, that pattern, that habit of voting, and then that way we will take over the world, man. Otherwise, it's So that's great. Thank you for that. Yeah, get everybody together, whatever, sports club, kapaka, whatever. Just get people together and go and do it as a whānau.
Massive. All right, whānau, they're in your letterboxes right now. And if you, what happens? So you just go into the website. Like I know a lot of whānau at home whose mailboxes sometimes get wet in the rain or whatever for whatever reason. The voting papers get lost in transit, so they just get a hold of the website, right? If they haven't received these.
The biggest reason why people didn't get something in the mail, though, is that their addresses have changed. And, of course, that is our rangatahi that's particularly the case for. So all you have, just go to vote.nz, and for whatever reason, dog ate it, whatever, you can just go, and as long as you're on the roll, change your address online or whatever. And then the sad part about special voting is you have to physically go in and get the papers. But there's lots of places to do that, and each council will tell you. Feel free to email us and we'll find out for you if that's easier. But there are places. At this stage, there are a couple more barriers, but we really need to get it up. The latest statistics, despite all the kind of hype we've had, especially around Māori wards, the latest statistics that came out suggested that it's a slower roll on this year than it has been before. But there's still 2 weeks to go, man. So yeah. And don't leave those orange envelopes on the fridge. Yeah, so go through and find that orange envelope. Yeah, like Tipper said, she told us at the last hui we had, she said, all the whānau were going, oh, you're good on you, girl, we're going to vote for you, etc. And then after the fact, this is her first time, after the fact when she didn't get back in, they said, oh, yeah, it's still on the fridge. We didn't think we'd really need to. So, it's not enough just to think that, that you've got your whānau there representing you. You've actually got to do your part and go and post that orange envelope. Or find a ballot box. Again, Hamilton City, there's ballot boxes all over the place. Waikato District, not so much at the moment. I'm not quite sure with Waipa, but again, great candidates standing in Waipa, Waitomo, Otorahanga. Get your vote on, whānau.
Get your vote on, whānau. Get in there right now. Don't let the dog eat your papers just like it used to do with my homework. Get out there and get your vote on at the iwi. Heaps of choices out there. Heaps of our Māori have put their hand up. So we got to do our part and support them as well. So let's get out there and start voting. Mihi kia koe kusi whai wahi atu ki tātou te neo ngā ata. And all the hard work that you've done as well to help our candidates, put their hand up and make it easier for them to do that as well. Ngā tino mihi kia koe o kia kawe anō hoki koutou me tō kāhui.
Kia ora.
All right, whānau, there you go, man. And you can check this out, of course, live on our Facebook page as well. You can check out our recording on our Facebook page right now, whānau, for those of you listening in their car. If you missed any of that information, you can check it all up. It's on our socials right now. So go and check it out for yourself. Ka pai, ngā mihi kia koe kusi, o tira koutou katoa, pikari taringa mai nā. Timely live, getting back into the music. Here is Justin Bieber. Me tell why it's intention. It's time to live with me here today. Not the Maria.